First, I guess we'll categorize like what constitutes overtraining. And to do that, we have to go through some of the basics of training versus recovery. Pretty simple stuff. So, anytime that you put stress on the body or anytime that you put stress on the brain, most of the time you're doing both to some extent. That is going to require a period of recovery time for things to recoup, get better, and regenerate. So if I do 50 press ups in a row and that causes lots of little muscle tears and lots of buildup of things around the joints and muscles, I'm going to need some amount of time where my body gets to kind of flush that out and rebuild the muscles, maybe build them bigger, maybe build them stronger, maybe rewire my brain to make the reactions between all the muscle connections quicker. So I'm not actually building bigger muscle, but actually they're going to perform more optimally. And so even though I'm not, getting bigger in size, I actually feel like the muscles are stronger overall. That recovery is essential. And if I do not allow that recovery to happen, the effect on my body is going to be overall negative. So the more of these different things that build up, whether it's acids, different proteins, different residue from like neurons firing and stuff like that, that's going to start to have a toxic effect on the body. And that means that over time, I'm not actually going to get stronger. I'm going to get weaker because it's going to start to erode away lots of stuff with the cells. That's going to have an impact on the nerves. The nerves aren't going to work as well. And I'm going to be basically just a shell of my former self by the end of that. So that's pretty simple. Anytime you do work, you need to have a recovery period. And that's true for all work regardless of the size. So the reason that we have to sleep every single day, even if we didn't accomplish anything, is that by just the fact that we're awake means our brain is working, our body is working. That still needs its own period of recovery. And so now the question is, when do we draw the line? Because I could do 50 press ups and get all these little muscle tears and all the stuff building up in the muscles. Or I could do 50 press ups every single day, and that's going to build up. And overnight, some of it's going to clear out. But then the next day, I'm going to cause even more buildup. And then overnight, some of that's going to clear out, but maybe not all of it. And then day 3, you start to see things are piling up. So while we could look at it from a day-to-day basis of the work that you do on one day needs a certain amount of time to recover to be ready for the next day, you've also got a kind of time scaling effect. So I might just do one press up on one day, and by the time I even get to the evening when I'm about to fall asleep, that recovery might have already been done. Similarly, I might go for like a crazy ultra marathon challenge where I run a marathon every single day for 30 days. Does that count as overtraining? Or is there a way that I can make that okay? And the answer is, well, the answer really just brings it back to the initial concept about whatever training you do has to have the appropriate amount of